auditors! Welcome back to Voicy Tales. Today's story is The Creature. The Creature is a short story about a girl who spends the weekend at a cottage and encounters something very terrifying. Megha was 26 years old. She worked in an office in the city. On weekends, she used to love to get away from all the hustle and bustle of the city and would take a trip to the countryside. Luckily, she had a cottage in a small village which was located right at the edge of the forest. She used to love to get out of the city and spend the weekend in her little cottage. After a hard week at work, she needed a rest. So she decided to get out of the town. She went home, packed her bags, threw them in the trunk and drove off. When she arrived in the village, it was late in the evening and she was tired from the long drive. So Megha went straight to bed and fell asleep quickly. In the middle of the night, she was awakened by the sound of her car alarm going off. She looked out of the window, but there was nobody there. She found her car keys and pressed the button to shut off the alarm. When the awful noise stopped, she lay down again and tried to fall back asleep. All of a sudden, the alarm went off again. She didn't feel like getting up, so she just grabbed the keys and pressed the button again. Everything was peaceful and quiet. 5 minutes later, the alarm went off a third time. Once or twice could have been an accident, but now she was wondering what was going on. Could someone be playing tricks on her in the middle of the night? She got up again and pressed the button to turn off the alarm. But this time, she did not lay down. She stood by the curtains and kept watching. After a few minutes, she saw something by the light of the moon. A shadow emerged from the bushes and slowly approached the car. She could just make out the shape. It was something tall, skinny, and black. The figure reached out with its long, thin arms and knocked on the door. The alarm went off again, and as quick as a flash, the dark figure retreated back into the bushes. At that moment, she realized what was going on and began shaking with fear. She turned off the alarm and continued to watch. The thing emerged from the bushes again and slid silently over to the gate, threw a hand through them, and removed the partition holding the gates closed. Megha was paralyzed with fear and couldn't move. Her mind was full of panicked thoughts. A shiver ran through her body from her head down to the toes. Her mouth was dry and heart was beating fast. She was so tense that she was gritting her teeth and clenching her hand into fist. She got control of herself and ran down the stairs to the ground floor as fast as her legs would carry. She wanted to look for something which she could use to protect herself. However, just as she was about to switch on the lights, she suddenly froze in her tracks. The dark figure was at the window. It was pressed up against the glass, staring in, looking to see whether or not there was someone inside. Megha immediately hid herself and watched secretly. That's when she realized what all these tricks with the car were for. It was trying to lure its victim outside. Megha could not take her eyes off its hideous face. The skin had the color of ash and was covered with wrinkles. Its eyes were small, beady, and completely black. Instead of a nose, there were 2 ragged holes. It didn't have any lips, just 2 rows of sharp yellow teeth. Its breathing was so heavy that it was misting up the window. Megha knew it was not going to go away. After standing at the window for a few moments, she heard a rustling noise coming from the front door. Megha watched as it tried to push its fingers through the gap under the door. The handle began to twitch wildly up and down. And then, the creature emitted a chilling sound. It was not like the human voice. It was a deep, beastly growl, like an angry dog chewing on a bone. She knew that if it heard her, it would keep trying until it found a way to get into the house. So Megha just crouched down behind the sofa, hiding in the shadows and desperately trying not to make a sound. Tears began involuntarily streaming down her face. She could feel her pulse pounding, and she was shaking like a leaf, just waiting for it to end. She waited there for a long time and finally passed out. When she woke up in the morning and looked at the door, the creature was already gone. The door was still in place, and everything seemed secure. Megha had never been so relieved in her entire life. She ran upstairs and looked out of the window. There was no sign of anything wrong. Taking a chance, she grabbed the car keys and without stopping to collect any of her things, she ran out to the car. Megha jumped in, locked the doors and drove off from the village as fast as she could. She didn't stop driving until she got back to the city. When Megha got back to her apartment, she turned on the radio and heard a news report. The announcer said that in the village, the dead bodies of 2 girls had been discovered. Their corpses had been mutilated and dumped in a swamp. I guess the creature found what it was looking for. That was it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Pardon me for the unintentional mistakes. Comment down your experience, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed to my channel.